Have you ever wondered how Cubelets work? If we could glimpse inside these robot blocks, we'd see a bunch of numbers whizzing about on a highway of data. Today, we'll explore the information inside Cubelets to see how it changes our robot's behavior using a new web app called Cubelets Console. Hi, I'm Stu from Modular Robotics, and today I'm inviting you to make with me as we explore the brand new Cubelets Console. Console is a free web app for Cubelets robot blocks. You can use it to craft with code and make all sorts of new robot constructions. Just like Cubelets, it is designed to work with users of nearly any skill level. Console is a web application, so there's no installation or downloads required. Simply use your Chrome browser and navigate to console.modrobotics.com. Inside Console, you'll find 4 powerful tools that play together to make creating with Cubelets easier than ever. So let's get to know each of these tools. First up is Data Logger, a new tool that is surprisingly helpful when it comes to building robots. Use Data Logger to visualize block values inside your Cubelets. It's a great tool for debugging your robot's behavior and building a better understanding of how Cubelets interact. To access Data Logger, just click on the icon. Before we go any further, we'll need to pair with a robot construction. I've prepared a simple robot with the battery, Bluetooth hat, distance, and flashlight Cubelets. To connect, power on your robot construction, then click on the pairing button. It will open a Chrome dialog box. Find your Bluetooth hat and select to pair. If you're in a space with lots of hats and you're not sure which hat is yours, this button will help you identify your hat. So, select your hat and click pair. After the process completes, you'll come to the block map, which is a graphic representation of the robot you're paired with. Select some blocks to continue. In this case, I want to select the battery, distance, and flashlight. Then click to continue. On the main screen of Data Logger, you'll see 2 things: a map that shows your selected Cubelets and a live graph of the data inside your Cubelets. Right now, the graph isn't showing much, but if I start moving my hand above the distance sensor, you'll see some waves of data. Below the graph, you'll also see some of the tools that help make Data Logger so useful. As the name implies, you can log or record the block values of your selected Cubelets for analysis. You can change your recording settings using these controls at the top. For example, I could switch to a percentage scale instead of an 8-bit numbering system, then change the recording interval to once every 2 seconds. Click record and log some data. After a while, click stop. Your CSV file will automatically download to your Downloads folder. Open this file locally or inside Google Sheets to analyze your robot's data. You can also capture a specific snapshot in time by taking a screenshot of the graph. I like to pause the graph at the right moment, then take my screenshot. Again, it will save it to your Downloads folder. Using these tools or the live graph is a great way to understand what's happening inside Cubelets. And if we make with some of the other tools inside Console, you'll begin to see why. Next, let's look at Personality Swap. It's the easiest way to explore the power of programming without any coding. Personality Swap allows you to change the way individual Cubelets behave at the touch of a button. To get to Personality Swap, just click the little icon at the bottom. If you're paired with a robot construction, you'll automatically arrive at the block map. Select a Cubelet to change its personality. This time, I'm going to change the way the battery Cubelet behaves. Once you've reached the main screen, you'll see the Cubelet you've selected and a list of new personalities you can play with. For some personalities, you'll also see a little link that will allow you to view and edit the Blockly code behind the personality. For now, I'll select the inverse personality, which inverts block values, and wait for the programming process to complete. Just like that, the flashlight on my robot is shining brightly. Let's return to Data Logger to investigate what is going on and learn more about this robot. Again, I'll select my battery, distance, and flashlight. This time, you'll notice a little icon above the battery Cubelet. This personality swap icon indicates that this Cubelet is running a custom behavior. Click to continue. Now we can see what is happening with the data inside each Cubelet. As my hand gets closer to the distance sensor, its block value increases, while the battery and flashlight do the opposite. Let's pause the chart and compare it to our screenshot from earlier. Notice how the graph has changed along with the behavior of the robot construction? Before we continue our tour, let's reset our Cubelets to their default behavior. To do this, click on the More button in the bottom menu, then select the Restore All option. Finally, click Begin to start the restoration. Once the process is complete, we'll continue our tour by examining Cubelets Blockly. Blockly is a tool for coding with drag and drop blocks. It's a great way to start experimenting with programming without having to learn all the syntax of a new programming language. To start coding, just pick the block you'd like to create a program for. In this case, I want to create a program for the distance cubelet. This is the main screen of Blockly. On the left, you'll see your connected cubelet, and on the right is the main canvas. This is where you create your programs. To the left of the canvas is the block map, where you can pick different code blocks to build programs. If you're new to coding, try opening one of the sample personalities to see some example programs. Let's open the distance threshold 200 personality. You can see that it has loaded this program in a new tab. To move between programs, just click on the tabs. If we look at the code, we can see that this is a relatively simple program. If the sensor value is less than or equal to 200, then the block value is set to 0. If the sensor value is above the threshold, then the distance will set its block value equal to the sensor value. If we want to send this program to our kubelet, just click the Program Kubelet button in the Program tab. Once it's done, let's return to Data Logger to look at the graph for this robot construction and see how it has changed. Notice how the robot doesn't respond until something is very close. We can also see this reflected in our data. Let's quickly return to Blockly and look at the code again. This time, we'll use the View C tab on the left-hand side to see how this program is written in C code. It's a great way to glimpse some of the code inside your kubelets and start learning how text-based programs are built. If you're ready to experiment a little more, you can click this button to edit the code in C. This brings us to our final tool, C coding. C is a text-based programming language you can use to create all sorts of things. It is also the programming language that enables maximum creativity for Cubelets robot blocks. On the main screen, you'll see a very similar layout to Blockly coding, with an editing window on the right and a 3-tabbed window on the left. Use these tabs to select a different kubelet from the block map, program your selected kubelet, or view the docs for coding kubelets in C. Next, let's do a tiny experiment and change a couple variables in our code to see how the behavior of our robot changes. I'll change the threshold value to 120 and the block value to 30. Program the kubelet, then wait for the process to complete. When it's ready, we'll jump back into Data Logger to see how our robot is behaving. As you can see, if our robot doesn't detect anything above the threshold of 127, then it sets its block value to 30. The connected kubelets follow suit. But if a value exceeds that threshold, it begins to pass normal block values, and we'll see that reflected in our battery and flashlight block values. To finish up, let's restore our kubelet back to its default personality. Go to More, select Restore All, and click to begin. I hope you enjoyed this quick introduction to the new Cubelets Console. Look for new episodes of Make With Me as we continue using Console to craft with code and do even more with Cubelets robot blocks. In the meantime, try it out for yourself. Open up your Chrome browser and go to console.modrobotics.com to experiment, craft, create, and play. Until next time, happy making.